Hello guys, welcome to another video on this Amazon Web Service. And we are going to keep talking about S3, which stands for Simple Storage Service. And you already talked about the basics of we did an introduction of the AWS S3 of Simple Storage Service. So if you want to go ahead to my YouTube channel, you can go ahead and go and watch that video before you go into this video because I went into an introduction of what S3 is and how everything started with S3 and Amazon AWS. So let's go ahead and talk about more on S3. So the first thing that I want to talk about is buckets. Um, so in S3, buckets is a container or a web folder for objects or files stored in Amazon S3. Every Amazon S3 object is contained in a bucket. Buckets from the top level namespace from Amazon S3 and buckets names are global. Okay, so this means that your bucket names must be unique across all WS accounts, which I showed you on the previous video, how it needed to be unique across all AWS accounts, much like the domain name system. Domain names not just within your own account. So it needs to be globally unique across all AWS accounts. So remember that. And bucket names can contain up to 63 lower letters, numbers, hyphens, and periods as well. So you can have up to 63 lowercase letters, numbers, hyphens, and periods. And one of a tip that I can give you about a bucket is it is a best practice to use bucket names that contain your domain name and conform to the rules for the DNS names. This ensures that your bucket names are your own, can be used in all regions, and can host static websites. So if you want to go ahead to the Amazon console, and I can show you what the buckets are. You want to go to storage, S3, and we created a bucket which we call S3 CCDTT. So we can just go ahead and let's go ahead and just delete this bucket. Uh, I believe it was Virginia. Mm, doesn't let me just delete it. Let me go ahead and cancel and go ahead to this bucket. So the region is North Virginia. So let's go ahead and go back to the bucket. Delete it. It's probably gonna ask me North Virginia. How about now? It's still before the limit goes find them. So I guess it must be empty. So let's go ahead and empty this out before we delete it. Um, so an action, you want to perform an action. Let's go ahead and delete it. Delete. Now that bucket is empty. Let's go ahead to the S3. Select that bucket. Delete it. North Virginia. Uh, the accept. Type the name of the bucket to confirm deletion. Oh, S3 CCDTT. Oh, now. There you go. So now we have deleted the bucket. So when you go to S3, in order for you to play stuff in it, you want to first create a bucket. And like I said before on the slideshow, this a so a bucket is a container or web folders for objects or files stored in Amazon S3. Um, and this means there's buckets from the top level namespace for Amazon S3, and buckets names are global. So this means that your bucket names must be unique across all AWS accounts. So if you go over here and you create the name, let's just call it AWS, and you try to just create this bucket, it's going to tell you that this name already exists because it needs to be globally unique. So somebody already took this. So ccdtt, let's try that .com. Let's go ahead and try to create that bucket. You can see that the bucket was created because we have one bucket. There you go. Now my bucket is there. So that's how you create a bucket, and you can see how the name needs to be globally unique. Okay. So now let's go ahead into objects. So objects are the entities of files stored in Amazon S3 buckets. An object can store virtually any kind of data in any format. Objects can range in size from 0 bytes to 5 terabytes, and a single bucket can store an unlimited number of objects. This means that Amazon S3 can store a virtually unlimited amount of data. So since we so so a bucket is like a container, and objects they go inside a bucket. So let's go ahead and upload an object into a bucket or a container. Let's go ahead and upload it. Add files. Let's just go ahead and add this index PDF. Upload. So there it is. So now if we go back to Amazon S3, we created a bucket, which is a container where you can put objects. And inside the bucket, you can put the object like we did right here. We uploaded this picture index.png. Okay, so buckets are a container and objects go inside a bucket. Let's go ahead and keep going. And now keys. Every object stored in an S3 bucket is identified by a unique identifier called a key. You can think of the key as a file name. A key can be up to 1024 bytes of Unicode UTF-8 characters, including embedded slashes, backslashes, dots, and dashes. Keys must be unique within the same bucket. So in the same bucket, you cannot have the same key. So the same key name cannot be in the single bucket. But different buckets can contain objects with the same key. The combination of buckets, key, and optional version ID uniquely identifies an Amazon S3 object. So let's go ahead and take a look at keys. Let's go to the S3. Let's go ahead and select this and go to Hmm. Let's go ahead and we just click on it. There we go. So when you click on it, you can see that the key right here is index.png. So that's the key. And if we go back to the bucket and we try to upload another, let's say this one right here, open, that's not the same name. Let me see if we just, let's try to upload the same one. Upload. As you can see, it is not uploading because it has the same name as the one before. So the index.png is still there. So you cannot have the same key name in a single bucket. So there needs to be unique key name for every object that you put inside of this bucket. But if you create another bucket, let's create another bucket. You see the tt.com one, put in this region, that's fine. Create. There we go. It has been created. Let's go ahead and exit out of here. So if you go to this new bucket, so now inside this bucket, you can create, oh, you can add the same object that is in here because since it is inside another bucket, you can have the same key as in the other, um, as in this object right here, right? It just needs to be uniquely, it needs to be a unique key for in every single bucket. But you can have the same object in different buckets. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and keep going. So the object URL, Amazon S3 is storage for the internet, and every Amazon S3 object can be addressed by a unique URL form using the web services endpoint, the bucket name, and the object key. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the object URL is. So if we go inside of this bucket and we click on this object over here, here's the object URL. So if you copy this object and paste it right here, you're going to be able to, I mean, you can't see it. It gives you an access denied because you cannot globally access it. You can only access it from inside your account because um, by default, you are only the only one to see it. You're only the only one that can see that object. So you have to go ahead and change the permission and tell it to um, that anybody can see it. So if you go over here to permissions and you go see, click on everybody to read it, it's going to tell you that this object will have a public access. Let's go ahead and save it. Good. Let's go ahead and back to overview. And if we go over here and we refresh it, still giving me the access deny. Go ahead and click on it again. Still give me access deny. Interesting. Let's go ahead and go to permissions. Did we not add this one? Read, save it. So you cannot grant public access because black public access settings are turned on for this bucket. So as you can see, before you do that, you actually need to go ahead into the bucket and allow this bucket to be publicly accessed from anywhere. So as you can see, it's blocking all public access, uh, but you don't want that. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Save it. Type confirm so we can confirm it. Confirm. Now, since this bucket is available to the public, so anything inside here, now you can go ahead and select this or actually click on it and you can go to permissions and you can just go ahead and add it the read object. And now it should be good. As you can see right here, it has the read object. So now if we go back to owner to overview and we click right here, open a new tab, you can see now that you can see that picture. So before you, um, if you want to enable an object to be publicly available, you need to first make that bucket to be publicly available. Otherwise, it won't let you do it. So you need to do, you need to put the bucket um, publicly available, and then stuff inside this bucket, you need to, you will be able to make it available to the public. So that's what we did. Okay, let's go ahead and keep moving on. So Amazon S3 operations. The Amazon S3 API is intentionally simple with only a handful of common operations, and they include create, delete a bucket, write an object, read an object, delete an object, and list keys in a bucket. And you can do all this from the command line, which we're going to be doing that on a later on video, but not right now. All we're going to be doing right now is just using the AWS console. And durability and availability. So data durability and availability are related but slightly different concepts. Durability addresses the question, will my data still be there in the future? And availability addresses the question, can I access my data right now? And Amazon S3 is designed to provide both very high durability and very high availability for your data. And Amazon S3 standard storage is designed for 99.99999% durability and 99.9999 availability of objects over a given year. So, for example, if you store 1,000 objects with Amazon S3, you can on an average expect to incur a loss of a single object once every 10 million years, which is really crazy. And Amazon does this by storing data redundantly on multiple devices in multiple facilities within a region. And it is designed to sustain the concurrent loss of data in two facilities without loss of user data, which is really crazy. It's really insane how durability and availability works in Amazon S3. And this is what companies want. They don't want to lose their data, right? And since Amazon gives the company um, this durability and availability, a lot of companies are moving to the cloud. And access control. So access control, Amazon S3 is secure by default. When you create a bucket or an object in Amazon S3, only you have access to, which we saw. Um, how I was able to, which now I was not able to. At first, I was not able to publicly see the picture that I uploaded. So what I had to do was make that bucket publicly available, and then I had to make that object publicly available for me to be able to see it from the global URL or from the global object URL. And by default, that's how it does it. You are only able to see it um, in your own account. You cannot see it from outside that account. But it is easy to make it available to the public if you have to. And to allow you to give control access to others, Amazon S3 provides both coarse grain access controls or Amazon S3 access control list and fine grain access controls or Amazon S3 bucket policies or AWS identity and access management or IAM policies and query string authentication, which we're going to see on a later on video. And this is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys did enjoy this video, why don't you guys go ahead and follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. And if you do not have a Twitter account, why don't you just go ahead and create a Twitter account and then follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a lot. And I will see you on the next one, guys. Bye bye.